demand the following: that the President forthwith, by an executive order, stops the leasing process of these factories, that the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture immediately submits himself to an open and exhaustive dialogue with regional leaders, sugarcane farmers, and workers at the factory, so as to come up with the pre-leasing agreements in the various areas of concern to us. That the Cabinet Secretary makes public the secretive leasing dossiers attached to the current process for public, national, and parliamentary evaluation. That the current drivers of the leasing plans set aside and new modalities for any future planned leasing be discussed, incorporating transparency, accountability, and material disclosures of all bid processes, events, and direction.
It is very, very opaque. We have no idea, even within the leasing, that the public utilities, like the schools that are within these sugar factories, the hospitals, the roads, the access roads that are there, how are they going to be used? Because we have children, we've got schools that they're going to, we have the hospitals that are being used by the workers and all that, but we are not being told. We don't know because nobody knows about these lease agreements. So that for me is very important. My second most important issue is to talk about the lease itself. 30 years of leasing for what? How do we know if they don't end up using the land for the 30 years or using the factories? For example, we might be there and they're not using these factories. They're just using the land to actually take the cane to the already existing factories that they have. Therefore, Moroni will not be there as a factory. When Moroni is not there as a factory, where are these workers going to go to? How about the agrochemical factory that is within that region? Once it doesn't have, because agrochemical depends on the molasses from these factories.
We don't know how the lease looks like. We don't know what it contains. And with that, this leadership here are totally against that lease. Ordinarily, leasing is not a big problem, but it needs to be transparent in the process. It needs to involve all the stakeholders.
And we think it's very important that the lease is brought to us, reviewed. There should be an exit clause. A lease is a rental. You're renting somebody something for certain payment. How much payment is it? What is that lease? How much are they paying per month? How much are they paying per year? Where is that money going? Is it going to the debt or is it going to the farmers? These are things we want to know.
In the new lease, we are not being told how this will be done, and my fears are heightened by learning that Chemelil will be taken over by Kibos, who are my voters. And I know that they're very poor in industrial relations. So I'm fearful that the workers are going to get a raw deal. In Muhoroni, the farm is going to be taken over and the workers are going to be taken over by Kipchichim Group. That is yet to set a good example. I'm wondering even if there's a balance sheet that they may have shown to enable them win this lucrative tender that they have been given. My biggest fear is that some people somewhere want to use this process, this process to push the border by bringing some communities to take land that belongs to us.
Land parcel number 3977 and 3978, where the court made a decision. The environmental court made a decision on 30th of April 2021, saying that the land should be given back to the people who owned it before majorly members of the Koguta clan. So I noticed that the leasing did not involve the Ministry of Lands. The government is dealing with the Ministry of Agriculture, and that is meant to defeat the ends of justice in that regard. We want to assure the government that will not let this go easy, because if they don't take appropriate decision and involve the leaders and the stakeholders and to address the liabilities and the assets, then we are not going to let the matter rest easy. We'll take it up in court, and we'll also mobilize our people for civil action in that regard.